Okay, let's try this again. I was having some technical difficulties. So, first thing is, I've decided to change my my schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll be recording. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'll be training in secret. So here's my thought process. All right. So originally my plan was to do the split, the bro split, whatever you call it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is legs, push, pull, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, legs, push, pull. But I figured that if I'm doing every night, I do legs, I do kicks, and then I work my leg muscles. I'm not spending as much time on either as I would like to. Same with pushing exercises and parkour, capoeira, or whatever, and then pulling exercises. Those are actually my weapons nights where I practice with nunchucks and sword. But and eventually, boxing and jiu-jitsu stuff. But I would rather start working on the basics of things on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays until I feel good enough with doing the right technique on camera Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My girlfriend just got me a bench for my birthday. My birthday's coming up in a couple weeks. And so the other night she bought me a bench, like a workout bench, one of those like the incline benches or whatever, the wedge bench, I forgot what it's called. But so anyways, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is going to be just weights, things like that. I don't really see a need to record that. It's not that interesting. But I'm still going to do some, muscular things. Like I got my kettlebell here and my equalizer bars. But I'm just going to do this quick. I'm going to do some nunchucks to warm up with, some sword drills, and then some of those. So I won't be too long. I got some bad acid reflux today. I don't know why. Okay, so I said before with nunchucks in my other video that a lot of people have this misconception about them, that you're just always going to hit yourself in the head or you're always at risk of doing that. But in reality, once you hold the nunchuck and you keep your arm relatively straight, the other nunchuck is always going to travel on an arc when you swing it properly. And as long as that arc is away from your face, I can be swinging this in front of my face and I'm not going to hit myself in the face. You know what I'm saying? See, I aim better with my left hand. So you see how it's coming in front of my face like that? So I like doing figure eights to warm up, and then some passes. Nunchucks are really good for shoulder mobility, relaxing, learning how things move, coordination, things like that. It's just fun to do too. I just really enjoy doing nunchucks. Okay, now I do the harder part, which is I forgot what they're called. I just call them rollovers. My shoulder actually feels better after working out the other night. After I found these, so I lost my my solid nunchucks, and I found these when I was looking for my solid nunchucks. And since I found these, I was like, well, I'd prefer my solid nunchucks, but these do. They're not bad. I don't hate training with padded nunchucks. It's not as fun as solid nunchucks, and it doesn't have as much weight. Although nunchucks is not like using weighted nunchucks, it doesn't really do much for me, because as long as the movement is going, you know, like part of nunchucks is they carry themselves. You know, like you can feel the resistance. Like if I'm doing figure eights, then I can feel the force generated by the, you know, one stick swinging. And obviously, you know, if I have heavier nunchucks, then I'll feel that more. So I guess you could say that in that sense they're good for forearm strength, but it's not like when I'm doing rollovers or things like that, it's different. You know, nunchucks, they move themselves, and part of learning how to use them is just learning how they move, and they move in circular motions. So then you're just controlling the circle, if that makes any sense. That one actually did come a little close to my head, but I knew where the circle was going, and so I moved it. So the rollover, have you ever tried rolling a pencil or some little stick of some type over your fingers, and eventually it just kind of keeps moving to one side until it falls off? It kind of does that with this rollover technique. Whew. But it's just so satisfying, so fun to do. People probably asking or want to talk about how effective nunchucks are in combat or in fighting. Well, the thing is, I don't really know. I've never used them in a real fight, and I haven't been in a real fight since I was young. Fights are not something you should strive to be in. A true warrior avoids them because he understands how serious they can be. People who seek out fights or are quick to get into real fights are typically idiots. They don't understand the negative things that can happen from them, or they just don't care. And people like that I don't want in my life. I do martial arts for fun. It's just like some people like basketball and baseball. I like HEMA, you know. I like playing ninja. Alright, so this is a polypropylene training sword. And I do want to learn two-handed sword techniques, but I also have a Cutlass. The only real sword that I have right now is a Cutlass. And it's in the machete style. It's a cold steel machete Cutlass, and that thing it's nice. I love it. So I use this to train with that. But I'm studying a manual right now on two-handed swords, so I'll be working with that someday. Like that. Okay. So what you want to do with a one-handed sword is hold it like you would a paintbrush. You don't want to hold it like a hammer. You want to be accurate with it. Oh yeah. I also saw a manual of the Cutlass. I forgot what it was I did with it. I think they held it out and they just sort of rotated like a warm-up. Or it might have been like some sort of salute they did. I don't quite remember. But I'm a big fan of just like when in doubt, go with range of motion warm-ups. Which I didn't do with nunchucks, because, I don't know, I don't really turn with nunchucks that much. I kind of get it going, and then my wrist just I barely move. But this is different. Okay. So another thing I like to practice now, I like having the light here for this. So this one doesn't really work as well because it's thicker. But with my real sword, when I practice with that one, I like to see the shadow or the outline of the blade against the light like this throughout my whole movement. And if it gets wider, then that's how I know that's bad. You want to keep the blade straight the whole time. So that's what I work on. I like to just practice stepping. And I'm doing the same steps that I do in sparring for the most part, or at least similar. So when I'm moving forward, I'm practicing my overhead strike, and then when I'm retreating, I'm practicing a block. Now whenever you block, you want to make sure, kind of like in Wing Chun, you support the sword with your structure. So like, I have my elbow in, and whatever force I would be blocking, my forearm is parallel to it. I don't know. Perpendicular? I guess perpendicular. Like in a line with it. You know what I mean? Oh, I just stepped on a thorn. Right side. Oh yeah, you don't actually swing it around in a real, when you're really fighting. That's just some fun stuff to do. Oh yeah, and when I'm blocking attacks with my forearm, I should probably not be stepping straight back. I should be stepping at an angle to face wherever the attack will be coming from. So as not getting into a hurry. That's a problem a lot of people have when they're practicing anything martial arts based, is they think they have to go fast all the time. But the problem with that is, if you go too fast too early, then you'll get sloppy and your technique is going to suck. You're still going to get some benefit out of it though, but not the one you really need. The main part you should be working on your speed is in agility drills. At least that's the case for Taekwondo. With other things, once your technique gets good, then you can work on speed. Well, with anything. And I have... This is another reason why I figured, I'm going to do my strictly muscle-based exercises on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, because I have a door frame that I do pull-ups in, but there's not really any good angle to film it from, just because of the type of door frame. And I kind of have different equipment all throughout the house in different places, so it wouldn't make sense to just... It would make working out take a lot more time than it should versus doing something like straight in the backyard, you know what I mean? So this is some back stuff, as well as bicep stuff. Okay. Do some kettlebell swings, although I'm kind of nervous because of my shoulder. I have a feeling I'm going to come up and swing and then my arm's going to go flying across the yard. If that happens, it's a good thing I'm recording. 35 on a 35 ton kettlebell. Yep, 35 tons. Totally real. I wish I could make this less bright. I'll do more of those in a minute. See, I was kind of thinking, how should I do this? Should I do it like where I film everything that I train? Would that limit me? Where I don't feel like I should do anything unless I got a camera on? I don't feel like that. But that's why I decided Monday, Wednesday, Friday I will film. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday I will post. Whew. As well as rest and write. Oh yeah, I haven't told you today, or maybe ever, I'm working on some books. And so there's this fiction book that I'm writing that I'm having a lot of fun with. Except the problem is that I was struggling a little bit with themes and characters. But so what I decided to do, especially because this whole election silliness going on, where here's the thing, you know, America's philosophy is just totally wrong. For the longest time, we had the two-party system, and everyone knew it was super corrupt. It didn't matter who won, because the same guys would always win. The same plans would always be implemented. We would still go to war. We would still have the Federal Reserve. We'd still have the same sort of laws. We'd still have the same corporate selling out of the American people, jobs overseas, yada, yada, yada. Then all of a sudden Trump comes in and breaks that dichotomy. He's the first guy to come in, and people are like, well, so he's the first one to come in and, change that. Like, he didn't send us to any new war. He's cut back on a lot of different, war things that have been going on. Cut tons of regulations, brought a lot of jobs back to America. And people hate him. He's the most hated president in history. And I just don't get it. It's really depressing, actually. It's just like, I don't think liberals care about any of the things they said they cared about. And the Republicans, there's a lot of these rhinos that hate him. Never Trumpers and whatnot. Like, I get it if you're, purity. He's not a full-on libertarian. He's not trying to fix all the problems. But, I mean, being on the fringe element of politics, I'm pretty used to just taking what I can. I'm going to do more sort of stuff, I guess. So yeah, I'm used to just taking what is given to me. If a president came in and they were like, all right, I'm going to get rid of the Federal Reserve and put us back on the gold standard and 95% of the laws, release nonviolent prisoners, reduce your taxes to 1% flat tax, I'd be happy. But that's not really going to happen. The best thing you can do is find someone who is like, 20, 30% towards my goal. And the two-party system, Republicans are typically a little bit better at that. They're more low taxes, small businesses. And, I've never liked the idea of government stimulating the economy or any of that, because to me it's like saying that humans cannot do something on our own. We need a monopoly on violence to do it for us. To me, that's too close to arguing in favor of slavery or like suggesting that humans should be zoo animals. When people say we need free healthcare, well, to me, that's saying that humans are too stupid to innovate healthcare on their own. And that instead they need to just have it magically handed free by some godlike entity, which is what the government is to most people. They think that, if humans cannot do something, we need the government to do it, as if the government isn't also humans, which it is. The government is just people. And you put people in power over other people, and all of a sudden you expect them to, what? Care about us? Want to take care of us? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. I mean, when I was in 4th grade, my teacher left me alone to read to the class for half an hour when she went to the bathroom or something. Like, we had these portables, and they were kind of away from the main part of the building. So whenever she had to run out to grab something or whatever, she'd leave one of us in charge. And man, I was a little tyrant. 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. I flipped out. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. But it's like I got that little sip of power, of authority, and I went a little nuts. Now imagine having police and military to do what you want to 330 million people. That's some corruptible shit. That will rot anyone's soul. So, the way I see it, Trump comes in and he seems like he's actually trying to stop a lot of these bad situations, and he's getting shit on for it. People hate him, even though he's like, so you want to have your elbow in more, like that, I believe. So people hate him simply because he said some words or because the media lies about him. Okay, here's something really fucked up. You know, a lot of people think Trump made fun of, like, this is just one of the many examples of how fake news lies about Trump and why I completely stop believing them in every scenario, no matter what they say. There was a reporter who had some, like, mental or not mental, like a physical handicap, where his arms weren't moving properly, and so he moved his arms kind of like this. And they found a video of Trump moving his arms like this, and they were saying that he was mocking that reporter, and everyone believed this. But what the clip is from is him talking about something completely unrelated, and he's moving his hands around a gesture, which is how he talks all the time. You know, I'm a big fan of, like, if you're going to criticize somebody, you should actually listen to them and hear from them what they believe about things. Like, I hate Marx. I hate Lenin and Stalin and Proudhon and Kropotkin and every communist that I've ever read. And I've read some from all of them. I've read 1.5 Marx's books. I read parts of Kropotkin and Proudhon and Bakunin and Buchan, and I just can't. There's so many things that are wrong. They just don't understand about how money works, about how economics works. In the very first few pages, and it's just word salad. You know, but the Democrats or the left, they won't even read. They'll never read something from us. They'll read critiques of things from us. But, you know, we're open for debate and they're not. But so, I was thinking, why is it that so many people are susceptible to these bad ideas? And the truth is that they have the wrong philosophies. Philosophy is what matters. Oh, I just figured out some footwork stuff. Okay, so when you're blocking overhead, you want your elbow in and the sword up like this. But you step back, you pivot your lead foot in whatever direction that you're blocking, and your other foot immediately comes behind. Makes sense. Like that. Now, I still haven't finished reading all the manuals, so a lot of this is just guessing. I'm sure there's people that are, you know, I doubt Scalagrim or St. Leafy or any of you guys are ever going to watch my early videos, assuming I ever, you know, get big one day and we're looking back on my old videos watching me train. But, you know, I haven't read through all the manuals yet, so I'm just kind of figuring this out. Maybe my technique is bad, who knows. So anyways, people's philosophy is just wrong. We go to school where we learn how to think, but they don't really teach us how to think. They teach us what to think. But this is, you know what, I got to backpedal real quick. They do teach us how to think, but they teach us the wrong way to think. They teach us to think only in terms of authority, of someone has all the answers, and all we have to do is just go to school for a long enough time, or elect the right person, and then things will get better. Or enact the right laws, and things will get fixed. But that's not how it works. You know, knowledge doesn't grow by everyone just learning from other people. At some point, someone's going to have to figure out something new. And Democrats, when it comes to, you know, politics, economics, they're just so wrong. Like, look at global warming. That's a great example. They're right about the diagnosis. Global warming is most likely true. You know, I'm sure there's some good arguments against it, and I've heard some. But let's assume that it's true. I've heard a lot of good arguments or reasons explaining why it's true. Like, for one of the most convincing ones for me was the jet streams. And I can't really explain it right now. I wrote it down in a diagram. One of my friends from college had explained it to me. But anyways, let's say that, you know, it's true. Let's assume that global warming is a real thing. Well, their solution is to give the government all sorts of power and get rid of private property. But if you look up pollution or the solutions to pollution, you see that The most polluted places are always publicly owned. The cleanest places are always privately owned. You look at, we want to switch off of fossil fuels because that's a big part of global warming. And so, methane, the animal agriculture is huge, but we subsidize the meat industry. That's government causing the problem. If meat costs the consumer in proportion to what it naturally causes the producer, then meat would be much more expensive. There would be no such thing as a $1 menu at McDonald's. It would be like a $5 menu. Now, what I mean by this is, in order to produce 1 pound of meat, to get 1 pound of beef on a shelf in a store, you have to feed a cow 17 pounds of grain. So if you're feeding cows grain, which cows are usually either fed, if they're grass-fed, then they're fed grass pellets, and strange enough, grass is more expensive than grain-fed cows, but usually they're fed, different types of grains that are just put together in this big feed, or like corn, like they feed them a lot of corn. So you would think that however much a pound of corn or a pound of wheat or soy, they feed livestock lots of soy. You would think that a pound of meat would cost 17 times that grain, at least. Plus, you have to consider they use more water than even plants do. So, and they take up more land. Unless you jam them all in cages, which consumers don't like that. They want free range, which is still in cages. And so what the government does, because they believe everyone needs meat, they give all this money to the meat industry so they can charge things for less. So instead of mandating that everyone eat vegan, the first step that the government could do is stop giving an artificial prop up to the meat industry and the dairy industry. Stop promoting it. Stop forcing school kids to eat it every day. When I was in school, you didn't really have a choice. You went through like 2 separate lines, and one was, pizza, one was chicken, or things like that. So eating a vegan lunch at school was not really possible. Unless you were really creative or clever, which I was, but I was not really used to using that part of my brain at that time. So, I decided to write a philosophy book, and that's going to take precedence over my super fun vampire book. Even though I'm going to work on both, I'm most likely going to finish the philosophy book first. This feels easy. This exercise feels easy, even though my back is not buff. Maybe I should elevate my feet next time. I don't know, but I know tomorrow night I'm gonna put my dumbbells on my bench. I'll put a picture of that on my Instagram. Oh yeah, so when I do finally post these videos, my YouTube channel is going to have just a bunch of videos, links in the description and whatnot. So I'm not going to lie. I would like this to be a job. I'm going to be making videos consistently. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to be making videos consistently 3 to 6 nights a week. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I generally already know what sort of things I'm going to be doing. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is things I'm going to have to experiment with and figure out. Maybe figure out how to set up a nice camera angle or something like that. But I also want to make guitar videos, and because I'm learning guitar right now. I'm learning classical guitar. And then I also want to get back into blogging, and I want to let's see. Oh yeah, and I have another channel where I just talk about philosophy, or at least I did have one. I mean, it's still up. Obviously, I just haven't posted a new video in years. So my plan is I'm going to start uploading new videos on there. But I'm going to back up everything on BitChute. But I'll post links to all that when the time comes. I probably won't in any of these videos until I get that back, or get that started going again. So if you like the content and would like to see more, please like and subscribe and share. And feel free to donate. I would be much appreciative if you donated. I accept fiat currency as well as Bitcoin, the superior currency. Okay, 35 more. Oh, and if you just so happen to be like a personal trainer or somebody who knows how to work out better than I do, and you see that there's flaws in my form, feel free to critique me in the comments. I always like watching debates and comment sections. Okay. That does it for me. Thank you for joining me on my Get Super Healthy journey. I hope these videos get better over time. Whew. I don't know what gave me such acid reflux today. I drank a lot of tea today. I gotta cut back on that. It's a bad habit, but oh, so yummy. I ate oatcakes. It was just one oatcake. I had some chocolate. I had some vegan burgers, but they didn't have oil in it. They're low fat, no oil, but also probably not very good as far as fiber content. And whole food, not very high on the whole food spectrum. And let's see, what else do I have today? I was about to make a pizza tonight after I shower. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't feel that bad though. I did get a good night's sleep the night before last. Last night, however, I ended up staying up late watching Onward with a girlfriend. It's a pretty good movie, actually. A lot of Pixar movies are pretty good. But after the movie, it was like midnight. I was surprised at how late we stayed up. And then I woke up early today because I just naturally do. Anyways, I gotta quit rambling. That's gonna be one of my problems to solve, is to quit rambling so much. I like talking. I'm an extrovert. I'm an extrovert who has learned to thrive as an introvert. Alright, y'all have a good night. I'll just go ahead and end it now. End it now? No, that sounds too dramatic. No. I am going to say good night. Feel free to like, subscribe, and please give me the monies. Goodbye.